while my carb is soaking, I might as well go ahead and pull this manifold off because it is definitely leaking like crazy. I can hear it blowing by. Absolutely don't want to let it have that, so I'm going to start breaking all these loose. It looks like everything's, I don't know if somebody had already had these out before and did a crap job, but it looks like almost everything's already loose. Just to let you guys know, it truly means the world if you can hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, give me a like, let me know you're there. Coming up soon, you're going to see some giveaways starting, so make sure you get that notification on. You know, taking this thing apart, it's really hard to believe that these bolts were this loose on an engine that's been sitting this long. I have to say, somebody's had to have been into this thing. If you've got something that makes it faster, by all means. Unbelievable. This thing truly shocks me at every corner. I've never pulled an exhaust manifold off of anything that easily. Little quick tip for you. If it's all like this, little electrical tape straightens you right out. Now you can get up in there, give it a little turn if you need, and it stays where it's supposed to go. It's all pulled out. It was never torqued down properly. I don't think the intake was put on, the heat riser was put on correctly. There's a gap between them. Could be an issue with that right there. So we'll pull that apart real quick, see what it looks like. Pull this apart. This bolt was missing. So it could never have been sealed. Yeah, basically I had a full exhaust leak right there. It's gonna be real interesting to see how this thing runs. So I've been hearing a lot of people talk about removing this. I'm hearing that sometimes it can do that, which would be bad. And sure enough, it's not in great shape there. It's been, oh, look at that. It's got a little rag tied to it with a zip tie. My favorite, zip ties. Decide what I'm gonna do with this. I may just order a header. Go ahead and put the header and the 2-barrel on it. I know I'm rebuilding the carburetor, but maybe somebody else will need that shit, huh? I have the intake and exhaust manifold off. Definitely needs a little bit more cleanup. Since I've got it off, I'm gonna clean it up nice, paint it the way it should have been. Kind of touch up the engine there with a little more paint. Do the same thing with the exhaust manifold, pull it off, clean all the gasket surfaces, which look to be fairly clean. So, when I pulled this thing off, it was leaking. What I didn't notice there was a new gasket on it, so whoever put it on, I'm assuming maybe they just didn't torque it down, because they did leave one bolt out. I guess I should have checked that, or whoever got it running should have checked that. But no big deal. Also, this center bolt was left out. Cleaned up, get a new gasket, get everything torqued down, put the newly rebuilt carburetor on it, and see if this thing runs any better. Big thing right now, I mean, there's quite a bit of carbon in here. I've put a little B12 in it. That took most of that out. That's not a huge deal. But wire brush all this thing down, get it painted up. You guys get to see the end result. Not really a whole lot to watch while I'm sitting here with a wire brush and clean it up, and it won't be long, but you're probably watching in real time, and this thing be clean, because top side's completely spotless, and this is just a little dust that needs to be knocked off. So I've seen a couple people that have talked about taking these off. I believe this thing should have a big weight on it, but my thermostatic controlled spring here and all this stuff, it should be working here. Assume it's like that, maybe. So I really don't know what to do. I know this is supposed to warm things up quicker. I don't. First thing is, let's clean this up real good. This is why you clean shit up, as well as anything else. Then I can find that. It's definitely cracked. It's not going to stop me from putting this thing back on there and getting this truck running. But I know I've got a problem now. I have to address it. So, damn. I guess I should have to upgrade to the 2-barrel and headers sooner than I thought. That really sucks. I may cry. And I may not. Alright. Whatever. Manifold's got a crack in it. It's not good. If I were driving this thing every day, definitely would cause me a ton of grief. But I don't even see that it's been leaking yet. I didn't see any signs of anything coming from this. So chances are it is a mild crack. Once I get everything torqued into place and left, once it gets noticeable, I'll park the truck, I'll buy another one and move on from there. Or I'll upgrade, and I might upgrade and go to 360. I've got a couple sitting around. Who knows? Maybe 408. Who knows? I mean, just so much room for activities under that hood. Well, that was easy. Alright, well, they are painted. Doesn't look great, but for what I'm doing, I'm not going to dick with it too much. I'm going to clean up. Looks good. Looks good. So I went ahead and started putting this in. And of course, I forgot my camera again. What I did start to realize is there's a reason he didn't put a bolt in this one, because I couldn't get one to start. I can see threads right there, but it looks like it's just barely into it, and may need a little cleaning out. Hopefully it's not too bad. See if I got the right tap, right drill here, so see if I can get a little into it. And then my cordless drill is somewhere. My cordless drill is somewhere in the house, so I went looking for it yesterday. I know my wife messing with it, so I'm gonna blame it on her. Although I don't know if it was her or not. these are all good now. Don't know what, something broke down in there or what, but it's clear. Holes are all chased out, looks good. Set that intake on top of it. This might be the biggest pain in the ass, is lining up this little gasket. I'd really like to get this thing fired up. I want to pull the plugs. It ran a little bit. I want to pull them, read the plugs, see what this thing exactly is doing. Because still getting a ton of smoke, and the engine runs too good. Compression test I did, everything looked good. There was a couple I didn't test because had some bent push rods on those whenever I pulled it apart. So everything seemed to be open and closing good. Everything seemed to be right. Right now I don't know, with the air leaks here and a couple other things that, you know, I could have had some other problems that were causing me bigger issues. So I want to get this side taken care of, but I definitely want to pull the plugs before I fire it up, get a good reading. Got everything else to change the oil. I got new fresh oil, fresh filter. I've changed it twice now. I changed it twice. This is the second. It's on the second oil change that I got it. I was running a cheap filter, just some Fram, which are garbage if anybody didn't know anything about them. So I've got a better filter now. I've got the 1040 oil rather than the 1030. I've been testing or running through it, and we're going to see if this thing continues to spit oil out the back of it, or if these rings free up and kind of start running. I'm assuming they're probably stuck. That would be my assumption. This engine's set for quite a while. I'm assuming I've probably got an oil control ring stuck and it's kind of letting a little bit too much go through. We'll find out. So got everything torqued down. Probably saw the one bolt right here is absolutely almost impossible to get to. Everything else is pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do on this Slant 6, but this one bolt right here, the back side of that carburetor, one, it's hard to get in there to it. It's kind of an odd space. There's absolutely no room for fingers, especially mine. And you put it on a socket, it just did not want to start. So where I'm at now is it's all on. It's all torqued to spec, 15 foot-pounds. I read 10 and I read 15. I erred on the caution to 15. Went around it twice, of course. So everything I feel is properly torqued down on it. Carburetor's rebuilt. Getting ready to put that back together. Outside of tightening this carburetor down and hooking fuel to it, I get the exhaust. So in order to get this thing started up, I got to put this rebuilt carburetor on it, and I got to hook up that exhaust pipe. Once that's done, we're gonna fire this thing up, see how it runs, see if we got any improvement. After I pull all the plugs out and take a look at it. Exhaust is hooked up. Everything's good here. So this bolt and that bolt are supposed to have a brass conical washer. They don't have, which probably explains why my manifold has a crack in it. Haven't seen any signs of leak from that manifold yet, so, but it's definitely going to crack. So something to watch out for until I can get something. So we can get this carburetor primed up. All right. Aim a little down this vent tube.